Uh, Today I want you to introduce to the language of mathematics, which is sets. Remember. So before theory of algebra, calculus, geometry, statistics, mathematics, you need to always talk about the collection of object, which is the language of theory of sets. So here's a question. Imagine I ask you that how many vowels are in English language? So immediately your brain thinks A, E, I, O and U. So what is this? This is a collection. Your brain had subconsciously a collection of vowels. So and another question, if I ask you, how many planets are there in our solar system? So our solar system has eight, seven something planets. I exactly don't know. But your brain immediately thought of those planets. So this is a subconscious way your brain thinks of sets. So what you did was simply group objects together. This simple act of grouping objects together can be said a set. Okay. So let's talk about why did mathematicians need set. First of all, let's talk about intuition of why do we need sets. So what was the need for sets? So before the late 19th century, mathematics had been very powerful. People were studying numbers, then there were functions, then geometry, calculus, and goes on and on. So, but there was a problem. Everyone talked about collections differently. There was no common language. Imagine you program you do programming without a variable. It is hard to imagine, right? English without nouns, chemistry without atoms. Similarly, mathematics needed a universal building block, and that block became set. Okay, so let's start now. So, first of all, what is a set? Exactly, what is a set? So, definition for set would be a well defined collection of distinct objects. Remember these words very carefully. Each and every word in this definition is very important. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about collection. So, a collection simply means to group, a group of things or objects. Like there would be books on your shelf, students in a classroom, or the planets, prime numbers, and days of week, such. And distinct. Now, distinct. Let's talk about distinct. So, if I write distinct, if I write apple, apple, apple. So, do I have three different objects? No, right? So, a set only cares about whether an element belongs in it or not how many times we have listed it. So, this is equal to or similar to this. Okay, so this is a very big difference between an orderly list and sets. List do differ according to how many times you write things in that, but set doesn't, it ignores basically repetition and only cares about the membership of the object. Okay, now let's talk about well defined. What do you mean by well defined? So talking about well defined, See, this is the most important part in a set. Suppose I say a collection of beautiful movies. So, who decides what is beautiful? For me, it might be any movie of Salman Khan. And for someone, it might be any movie of Tom Holland. Someone might like Avengers. Someone might like Korean dramas. So, the definition of beautiful changes with different people, and different people have different opinions. So, such sets are not well defined. Okay, where people have different opinion is not a well defined set. Okay, so now consider, if I tell you a set of prime numbers, so immediately your brain will think which is 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, and 19. So your brain immediately made this set a collection. If I took a person A and took a person B, so this will not change for person A and person B, this will remain constant. So is a set of prime numbers. So this is a well defined set. Okay, now talking about some examples. If I take days of weeks, no matter what person I ask in this entire earth, everyone will tell me that there are 7 days, and they can classify it. Then there are even numbers, number of letters in the word, in word, kind. Everyone will tell me there are four words talking about continents, states. These are well defined, so they are set. But if I ask you, give me a set of beautiful songs, or the best football players, or delicious food, or interesting books, these changes with people as people have different opinions. So this is not a well defined object. That's why it is not a set. Okay. So now we know about the definition of a set. Let's move ahead to why are sets important. Okay, so why are sets important? First of all, every branch of mathematics is built using sets. You talk about numbers, which is made by set. You talk about functions, which is made using set. You talk about vectors, which is made using set. Talk about matrices, it also includes sets. Talk about probability, it also has sets. Talk about statistics, it also has sets. Talk about AI, it also had sets. Talk about computer science, it also has sets. So once you start understanding sets, you'll see them everywhere. It is the very basic building block. Okay, again, now imagine a classroom where there are 20 students. How many students? There are 20 students, where 12 are boys and 8 are girls. Instead of describing everyone one by one, a mathematician will create a set. Okay, so he will first group students, further, they will be grouped into boys, and later on in girls. This is what sets truly are. Instead of thinking about individuals, we think about them in collections. Okay, now I'll give you some questions which are not any uh, opinion. It is opinion based. Anyone can give any type of answers to this question. First of all, why do mathematicians mathematicians insist that a set should be well defined. What will happen if a set is not well defined? Why do we only need set to be well defined? What if it is not a well defined set? Okay, this is your question. Second would be, why are repeated elements ignored in a set? Okay, so why are elements ignored in a set? Why do repeated elements get ignored in a set? Think about the reasoning behind it. Think about the analogy behind it. Don't answer or Google it. Even if you, there is no wrong answer for it. Third is, can a set contain a number, a letter, and a symbol together? Then talking about fourth, I have a question like, is the collection of all interesting videos on YouTube a set? If why, and why not? If your answer is yes, then why is it? And if no, then why not? Okay, talking about the fifth question, which is, try to think about five examples of sets from your daily life. These are not any type of questions, these are reasoning based, logic based questions. So there is no right or neither wrong for these questions. These are according to logic, intuition. There is nothing right or wrong in this. If you can give a logical reasoning behind it, then you are definitely right, no matter what you do or what you don't. Okay, so signing off.